Hey guys, so I want to make sure I cover all areas in my videos, and I talk obviously a lot on nervous system and stored survival stress. Um, However, there's many different things to consider. Detoxification is a huge part of healing autoimmune because, as we know in the holistic communities, our body doesn't attack itself. What an enlightening idea that is. I'll say relieving. It's a relieving idea. Um, Not even idea, it's a fact. Let's just cut straight to the chase. Yeah, the body is attacking something else, be it Epstein-Barr or other viruses, different pathogens, bacteria in the form of dysbiosis, usually in combination with leaky gut, um, toxic heavy metals, pesticides, herbicides, chemicals of all kinds, environmental toxins of all kinds, mold, parasites, stored trauma, old survival stress patterns, and that is connected to all kinds of trauma. Early childhood development stuff, trauma, or acute shock trauma, like trauma, from like a car accident or something like that, or like just current chronic stress, and then just lineage patterns of dysregulation. Those all are forms of, I'll say, they are all things the body is signaling like this, going, not supposed to be here. The nervous system is going to respond. So even if the nervous system wasn't a original root cause, this is interesting and really important. So let's say root cause is heavy metals or viral. The nervous system is still responding to that because foreign objects, foreign pathogens wreaking havoc, setting off dysfunction and hormone issues and all kinds of dysregulation in the body, other types of dysregulation. And the nervous system is going to respond to that because it is a stressor on the body, on the system. And so whether or not you have a nervous system as a cause or as a result of being sick, that piece is always present. Now, some people who do not have long-standing old survival stress patterns, I don't know anybody who doesn't, by the way, have some level of that. But let's just say it's not a huge factor in what you're dealing with. And what you're dealing with is very current and it's chronic, but it started later in life and you didn't have many health issues or much dysregulation. You had good attachment with your parents and all of these things, amazing things were on board for you. And you have some other thing that happens in your life that sends your system over the edge and you start to develop chronic symptoms and issues. You may not have to do a ton of nervous system repair to get yourself back to homeostasis and into a state of balance. You might detox, change your diet, do a few things, work on your gut, and that might be enough, even though all of those things are going to cause the body to go into a stress, and getting sick it's in it of itself is a stressor and is going to cause stress in the body. If there isn't long-term patterns of dysregulation in the system already, then just getting well might be enough for your nervous system to just bounce back and repair itself. So just because we're sick doesn't mean we have to do deep nervous system repair always. It just depends. But most people that I have seen do have to do that, because what happens is we find out at some point along our long healing journey. I hate to say long because for most of us, it is quite a journey of learning and trying different things and stuff. But at some point along that road, we realize, oh, we do have old patterns. We do have old stressors. We do have old things that are actually contributing to my symptoms. Things we may have not ever even considered before. But now, since our symptoms became chronic and we had to look deeper and we had to address these things, we realized, oh, I did actually have some dysfunction. I did actually have dysregulated parents and some old ancestral patterns that are instilled in me and even in my DNA that I want to unravel. And I think a lot of us are like here for that spiritual journey. It is a spiritual awakening, what we go through when we're sick. Like, no question. Anyway, I go on these tangents. The topic today is hydration. And the reason I started with that whole long thing is because we cannot flush our body. So we're putting nervous system to the side for a moment, even though it's always a factor. Our bodies actually can't detox properly if we're in survival stress. Our detox pathways will not open up because if the body is under stress or in survival in any way, shape, or form, it does not feel safe enough to allow for detoxification. We have to be in a restful state. Our body has to be releasing, able to release tension and not like this, right? If you think about it intuitively, that makes sense. The first step, you guys, I cannot express to you how important these things that seem small are in words. Like, it is so important for us to stay well hydrated. A lot of people, myself included, have found a level of healing that took place with my chronic fatigue. And I suffered with chronic symptoms. Like, I am not somebody that just was like, didn't feel well for like 6 months after I had my baby. I'm not, by the way, diminishing that, because that is very difficult and everybody's journey is very difficult, right? But that was not my story at all. If you know anything about my story, it started when I was 11 years old having chronic symptoms. I spent most of my life in chronic pain and chronic fatigue and complete shutdown. With as sick and as dysfunctional and as dysregulated and as non-functional, I should say, as I have been in my life, getting myself actually properly hydrated was massive for a piece of my healing. Now, if you are healing autoimmune and you have been sick for a while, you know that there are many pieces, and this can feel very overwhelming. Those of us who make it to the other side of autoimmune and chronic symptoms, we stayed consistent. Okay? Staying well hydrated every single day is a baseline foundational tool. I don't want to call it a tool. It's a foundational practice, health tip. I don't know what you want to call it. Health, it's not even it's a necessity. That's the word I'm looking for. To heal, because detoxification, because breaking down foods in our gut, kidneys, liver. Our blood actually flows better when we are hydrated. Our mitochondria, our cells, we need movement. Like, these things have to be mobile. Our joints, how many of us have joint pain and we're dehydrated? How many of us have chronic fatigue and we are living off of coffee and we are not drinking 2 cups of water per cup of coffee that week? Because I think that's the thing. Coffee is severely dehydrating. Not only that, mold and heavy metals also exist in coffee. So we want to flush our system as much as possible. Okay. Not only that, we're dealing with allergens, we're dealing with environmental things. You guys, if we are not hydrated, those things go in and they're just like, they're like, ooh, this is dry. Nothing's moving in here. This is just a cozy, comfy, dark, stagnant place to just exist, right? Have to get water. I'm telling you, a level of my fatigue healed and joint pain healed. A layer. I'm not saying it healed everything. It was not everything, but a layer healed because I was properly hydrated. I actually think it was even more than a little layer. That's what I'm talking about right now is just my immediate sense and how I felt. There were times when I was like feeling so tired. I had horrible adrenal fatigue when I was sick. And I would feel so tired those afternoons, and I'd be picking up my kids. I'm like, I know I can't drink coffee because then I'll be up all night. It was like always this like horrible thing I would find myself in. And I would say, I feel like I need water. And I would drink a whole thing of water. Or when I was vegan, I would drink a green juice in the afternoon, which, by the way, is full of structured water, and deep cellular hydration lives within green juices and smoothies and fruits. And you do not have to be plant-based to enjoy those things. I don't know why it's like one or the other. I eat meat and I drink smoothies and juices. Like, who knew you could do that, right? Anyway, I would hydrate myself with minerals. That's another thing with juices and smoothies. You're getting minerals, you're getting absorption, and fruits. I would hydrate properly and I would bounce back. So, I mean, like, it's not always gonna be just like the cure-all. I'm not saying it's the only piece, but I'm saying if you aren't doing that, bring it on board every day. Make sure you are getting. So here's most of you probably know this, I'm gonna say it anyway, half your body weight in ounces of water every day. Now, water can be alive or it can be very dead. You have to have minerals and electrolytes in your water for it to do something in your body, for it to create electricity and a spark in your system. There have been studies on this, actually. Reverse osmosis is actually what I have here. It's dead water. If you're drinking reverse osmosis, while good, because you know that system is actually pulling out everything, it pulls out everything from your water, including any kind of living mineral components that you actually might need in order for the water to absorb into your cells, your mitochondria, and deep into your system and provide what it needs to provide for you. Otherwise, it just goes straight through. It doesn't actually hydrate you if you don't have minerals. Just the easiest thing to do, I think lime squeeze and a pinch of Himalayan salt is an amazing way to add minerals to your water. Lemon juice. So in the mornings, I wake up and I drink 32 ounces or 28 ounces of warm lemon juice water, half a lemon, about 28 to 30 ounces of water, and I use shilajit, which is a mineral, resin mineral supplement. It's an adaptogen. It's an old Ayurvedic adaptogen, one of the strongest adaptogens on the planet. I don't use it for all of its amazing adaptogen qualities. I use it mostly for minerals and hydration, and because it's an amazing supplement, and it activates the water that I'm drinking, and it adds minerals that I need, and it's from the earth, so it's giving it that electricity and that vigor that I need, right? That's how I start my day. After that, I'm always drinking water with something in it, some sort of mineral supplement throughout my day. I drink, this is the size that I drink in the morning with my lemon juice, and then I probably drink 3 more after this. So this is like a 28 ounce, I think. And then I probably drink 3 more of these, right? So I'm about 130 pounds. So 65, is that right? Let's see, 120 would be, I can't do this on the spot. Anyway, 70, 65 ounces. I'm actually drinking double that. And skin looks good, feeling good. So yeah, I'm drinking not quite double, but I'm drinking over, like for sure, maybe a third over. Anyway, if I go in my sauna, obviously I drink a whole nother 1 or 2 of those. Okay, so if you have reverse osmosis water in your house, you have to add minerals. Okay, there are 2 supplements that I recommend. Well, 3, I guess. Shilajit is great. I don't add that all day long, but I do it in the morning. There's a trace minerals supplement that's great. There's a Quinton that's sea minerals that's also great. I will link those below. If you aren't doing reverse osmosis and you want the next best, I mean, I actually think the best thing to get is living spring water from a spring. So if you have the energy and the capacity to do this, I actually think reverse osmosis is the cheapest, easiest way to go, because you can buy a reverse osmosis filter. I'll link that below as well. And you can have it installed by a handyman. You don't even need a plumber. Potentially, if your husband is super crafty, or if you're super crafty, it doesn't have to be a man. If you're super crafty and you got the energy to figure it out, I think it probably comes with instructions. I don't think it's hard to do, but you definitely have to be skilled. Thank God I have a boyfriend who is a handyman, so he knows how to do this, and he did it for me. It's not hard, but you will have to have somebody install it, which I guess could cost extra. Mine was about $300, and I changed the filters once a year. I ordered it on Amazon. It's pretty easy. Again, you do have to add minerals, but that's a pretty easy way to get the toxins out of your water, drinking water, fast, especially for your kids, you guys. Okay, so I guess I should talk about what's in water and why we need to filter it, just in case some of you guys don't know that. Heavy metals, fluoride is aluminum, okay? Lead, whatever else you could get from like old rusty pipes, parasites, probably bacteria. I mean, I think that the chlorine, which will wipe out your gut bacteria that you need, right, to repair your gut, which is a layer and usually takes some, like there's a level of doing that when we're healing autoimmune, right? Which I'll get into in another post. There's a lot of crap in our waters, and I would not even trust, I think that they're saying like that even rainwater and well water has like glyphosate and other things in it. It's very sad, but this is the world that we live in now. And, you know, the thing is I want to be clear. I feel like I have to say this on almost every single one of my videos. Healing autoimmune is overwhelming because we have to like change and do so many different things. We don't know which way to go first. It feels incredibly crazy because most of us are like having to change our diet and having to change our water sources and having to do things that maybe we've never done before. And maybe a lot of you have already done this. Most of my clients have already kind of done this layer and this part. And they're working on the nervous system stuff now. Those deeper those deeper layers. That's why it's important for your nervous system to have some sort of regulation on board. Because if it doesn't, this stuff is going to really throw you for a loop. And I want to be clear as well, I am very, very good at helping people change and do things that they need to do, removing toxins from their house, helping them change their diet in a very slow, manageable, non-overwhelming, titrated way that is in alignment with their nervous system capacity. That is one thing that I am very good at, giving people tips and things to do each week that are small and not overwhelming for the system. It is one of my gifts. So if you are finding that you are in this space where you're like, I'm too overwhelmed, like I can't change all this stuff, it's just too much, I don't know what to do first, I need someone to just guide me, like what's the most important thing, I'm intuitive, I will be able to tap into that very, very quickly and get you on a plan that is not overwhelming for your system. It's very important, because if you get overwhelmed and your nervous system gets crazy, all the stuff you do will not matter. It just won't. Because you can't detox, you can't digest, you can't rest, you can't repair. Okay? All right. So, first determine if your water source is clean. Get a clean water source. Okay. Find a spring. Apparently has had a lot of testing. This is a website, Find a Spring. Let's put this on there too, Find a Spring. There is a website called Find a Spring. You can go on it and there are live springs with living, beautiful, amazing water from the earth. It is under my knowledge. You can go and read this website, but it is my interpretation and understanding that these springs have been tested and are known to be clean. Now, when we get living water like this from a live stream water source from the earth, we are getting a different type of consciousness that lives in the water. That is probably the best way to get your water if you can. However, I realize that if you are sick and you are having chronic symptoms, it's probably really hard to do that unless you have a loved one or a husband or a wife or somebody that can do it for you. That water you do not have to add minerals to. However, if you are really stuck in your chronic symptoms, I would add them. I would add them anyway. You don't maybe have to add as much, maybe just in your first water or in one or two of your waters throughout the day, but not all of them. Okay, so we covered how much water, we covered why it's important to have clean water, and we covered how to get clean water. If you have to go bottles, there are only 2 bottled waters that I will ever drink. That's Fiji. The plastic is different on it. It is non-leachable. I won't say 100% non-leachable, but way better than any other plastic. It also contains, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. I'll have to come back to it. I'm drawing a blank on the mineral that it contains. The silica. Silica is known to pull aluminum out of the brain and body. It's very amazing. For whatever reason, that spring water, Fiji, has a lot of silica in it, and that has been, no, I've heard doctors even talk about this, how silica is an amazing thing to do for detoxing aluminum. I actually add silica to my waters. About 1 or 2 of my waters, I have silica. I'll link that below too, silica. I have a silica supplement. I add that to my water, about a tablespoon. Okay. I covered why plant-based people are more hydrated than carnivores and keto and paleo people. It's because they're drinking juices and drinking smoothies and eating fruits. Now, you might not be a person who is in alignment or who can tolerate that much plant-based foods. If you're a blood type O, for instance, you need more meat heavy. If you live in like colder climates, or if you live in like Montana or something where it's like a lot of animal meat heavy, and that's what your body has adapted to, or your lineage is like Norwegian or something and meat heavy and not from the islands. By the way, I'll do a whole nother post on this, how we should eat for our body type, for our lineage, all the things. That's why I do incredibly well on a Mediterranean diet, because I'm Syrian. Makes so much sense. Anyway, so if you're a person that doesn't eat a lot of fruits, that's okay. Just drink your water, get your minerals in there, and get your hydration that way. Or also keep getting your hydration however you need to, but maybe try a piece of fruit, right? Now, you're not going to be like a plant-based person and drinking a ton of juices and that kind of stuff. You probably don't need to be, and that actually might not make you feel good. If you're blood type A, like me, and you can tolerate that, it feels really good. And you do feel a sense of invigoration from drinking green juices and smoothies. And I think a lot of that invigorated feeling is because it is hydrating your body on a deep cellular level and allowing for some level of detoxification to take place in the body. Structured water I'll talk about in another video with sunlight. And then I'm going to do another video. I'm going to break it up because I like to do short videos. And we're going to talk on the next video, structured water, sunlight, and then this living consciousness in our water and how it can hold vibration and things like that. I hope this water topic has inspired you to get proper amounts of water and hydration in your body. I hope you understand that just drinking plain water is not enough, especially if you're trying to heal chronic. The thing is healing chronic symptoms, like we have to be a little bit extreme. I hate to say it. It's not like we can just drink water. We have to add minerals. We have to add things. We have to make sure it's really clean. You know, if you're in a situation where you're traveling or whatever, I meant to tell you, Fiji is the cleanest water bottle, right? Or Mountain Valley. Mountain Valley is the green glass bottles. That's another option for bottled water if you are in a pickle and you need to get something out or whatever. I think that's it. I hope this finds you very well, and I'll see you next time. Bye.